AI agents are taking over, and here's exactly how to get rich from it and capitalize on the small window of opportunity that we currently have that will not last for long. And so first things first, software CEOs are currently freaking out. Why? Well, it's because of AI agents. And before we even dive into why they're freaking out, we have to define what is an AI agent. An AI agent is a software system that autonomously perceives its environment, makes decisions based on goals or rules, and takes actions to achieve desired outcomes. That's the important part. It actually takes actions and controls your computer and can switch tabs to achieve the goal that it's set for itself. And it's often using machine learning for adaptability. And so AI agents will very quickly get to a point where they can do everything. Okay, and so instead of using software and apps, users will leapfrog over them and ask an AI agent to do the task for them. And here are some examples of what I mean. Currently, a lot of people use Expedia to browse their ideal plane tickets and choose the one that's the best for their situation. Very soon, you're going to be able to go straight to an agent and say, book me a plane ticket to, location within this budget, within these dates. And so instead of having to go to Expedia and do it all yourself, you just ask an agent to do it for you, and it spits out the plane tickets that fit within your parameters. Okay, and it might even buy it for you. And so another example is e-commerce. You can just go straight to the agent and say, order a pair of sunglasses for me, order a pair of, a t-shirt, socks, whatever you want. It's going to go straight to the platform and order the item for you. Same with rental cars. People are going to go straight to an agent and say, rent a car for me at this day and time within this budget, and it's going to rent the car for them. So whatever services or softwares are arbitraging another service, these are the businesses that are in the biggest trouble because AI is just going to cut out the middleman and it's just going to do it itself. It's going to automate it. Okay, and us online service providers, we're not safe either. Okay, if you're a commoditized online service provider, you're in danger. So if you're someone who's just selling one mechanism, one tool, you're just someone who runs ads for people, then you're in trouble, because AI will get to a point where users will go to it. They're going to say, hey, run ads for me. It's going to create the campaign, create the creatives, create the copy, the targeting, everything from A to Z. It's going to run it. Okay, and so you have to find a way to separate yourself and capitalize on this opportunity instead of being someone who's replaced by AI. Okay, and so if you don't believe me, take a look at the new ChatGPT agent that was just released literally today. Today's July 16th or 17th. They literally released it today. Okay, so they introduced it, and Sam Altman went on X and he said, today we launched a new product called ChatGPT Agent. Agent represents a new level of capability for AI systems and can accomplish some remarkable complex tasks for you using its own computer. It combines the spirit of deep research and operator, but is more powerful than that may sound. It can think for a long time, use some tools, think some more, take some actions, think some more, etc. For example, we showed a demo in our launch of preparing a friend's wedding, buying an outfit, booking travel, choosing a gift, etc. So literally set up someone's entire wedding, bought all the necessities for the wedding, automated. And we also showed an example of analyzing data and created a presentation for work. It's already creating presentations. It's already creating weddings, ordering all the stuff. This is just the beginning. This is just the very tip of the iceberg. And so he also said, watching ChatGPT agent use a computer to do complex tasks has been a real feel the AGI moment for me. Okay, if you don't know what AGI stands for, it stands for Artificial General Intelligence. It's more so a theory. It's basically the idea of that when AI becomes more competent than all human knowledge combined, then we kind of reach a singularity. Okay, and so he says, this is a real feel the AGI moment for me. Something about seeing the computer think, plan, and execute hits different. And so why is this huge news? Well, we have to ask ourselves, why do agencies, people like me and you, online service providers and marketing agencies, exist in the first place? The reason for that is our primary job of online service providers is to identify a gap in the marketplace, the gap between the current situation and the desired situation of the marketplace. And to bridge this gap for our clients, they need to solve the underlying problems. And the main way agencies solve these problems is by implementing a combination of different mechanisms into their clients' businesses. So, whenever we choose a market, we need to identify their current and their desired situation. And the reason why there's a gap is because there's problems that need to be solved, and we implement an array of mechanisms to solve these problems for them. And so some examples of different mechanisms that we implement are things like running their ads, helping them create their content, helping them with their outreach, helping them create their offer, lead nurture systems, etc. And so how do agencies implement these mechanisms for their clients? Well, we're going to go very first principles here. Humans have a brain, which is our source of information, and we also have fingers, which are the tools we input information. AI is trained on a very large data set and can process information infinitely quicker than humans can, and digitally inputs information. And both human brains and fingers constrain us, processing information and speed of inputting information. And when it comes to creating and implementing these mechanisms for our clients, AI operators will remove both of these constraints, meaning that higher quality mechanisms can be created and implemented faster by AI for essentially zero cost. So the amount of information information we can process within a specific time frame is limited, and also the amount of information we can output is limited, because whether we're talking or typing, it's not as quick as AI. Okay, and this is also why one of the reasons why Elon is creating Neuralink. He says humans need to sort of merge with AI in order for us to compete with them. One of the main reasons why AI is going to be smarter than us technically is not only the large amount of data that it can process, infinitely more data than humans can, but also the large amount of data it can output within the constrained time period that it's given. Okay, and so AI operators will be able to create and implement the same mechanisms, but better, faster, and cheaper. And currently, the OpenAI operator / agent can't do things like create high quality, consistent content, fully automated outreach, and media buying. But as the technology advances and becomes more accessible, it definitely will be able to do those things and more. And so what will this lead to? Well, eventually it's going to lead to the democratization of products and services. All products will be created fast, cheap, and better by AI. And so in this world where all products and services are democratized, how do you win? Well, Hermosi recently put out a tweet that network effects, brand, distribution, and data, these are the competitive advantages in a world where all products can be made insanely fast, well, and cheaply with AI. So network effects, brand, distribution, and data. And I'm about to break down each one. And so when it comes to network effects, what is a network effect? It occurs when the value of a product or service increases as more people use it. Think about Facebook. If Facebook had, let's say, 100 users on it, it's not that valuable, but it has, billions of users on it, making it one of the most valuable products / companies in the world. Okay, so as more people use a specific product or service, it becomes more valuable. And you can also realize that a lot of these are intertwined. For example, one of the reasons why network effects is so valuable is because the more people you have on it, the more data you accrue. And so the next one is brand. Your brand, simply put it, is your association to something that's already known. So for example, if somebody knows what day trading is, they already know what day trading is, but you making your association and putting content out about day trading, your association to day trading is your brand. Okay, I know that sounds kind of confusing, but basically your brand is your association to something that's already known. Your association can either be a good or a bad one. Okay, ideally you want it to be good, and that's where you start getting advantages. And the next one is distribution. Distribution simply means the path that a product takes from producer to consumer. And then you have data. Data means collection of information about things like customer behavior, market trends, etc. And so simply put it, these are the 4 advantages that you need to accrue as quickly as possible before this thing gets too out of hand, which is these AI agents that can create most products, cheaper, faster, and better than humans can. And another insane hack here is that as you get more clients and get them results, you acquire more data. And it's an infinite feedback loop of leveraging data to get better client results. Or if you got bad client results, which you don't want, you want to try to mitigate as much as possible, then you look at the data and see why it happened so you can mitigate it in the future. Okay, and so you have a short window to capitalize on this huge opportunity that AI has presented. And the fastest way to capitalize on this is to become leveraged. And there are 4 forms of leverage that I want to walk through. And I'm about to explain what exactly leverage means. The first form is code, so software. Second form is capital, so money. Third form is labor, talent, hiring a team. And the fourth form is media, content. And so here's my best example for leverage that I came up with. So imagine you have a guy racing on a foot and a guy racing in a car, and they're racing each other. Okay, so a guy that's racing on foot, he has to put in more effort to cover distance. So he has to do a lot of small inputs, but little output. So each foot, he has to exert energy to lay each foot one in front of the other to get somewhere. Okay, and he uses all his energy and still covers less distance than the guy in the car, because every foot he puts down is more effort than the guy who's just sitting in a car and pushing a pedal. It also takes 10 times longer to reach the finish line compared to the guy in the car. When you have leverage, you save time. This person who's on foot, he has to exert energy putting one foot in front of the other just to cover less distance than the person who's sitting in the car and simply pushing his gas pedal, which barely exerts any energy. Why? Because he's in a better vehicle. And I'm going to break it down. Okay, he puts in low effort to cover lots of distance, so little inputs and big outputs. And I want to give a quick example of this. Imagine that the guy on the foot who's running on foot is sending 1,000 cold DMs every day. Okay, it takes him around 8 hours to send 1,000 individual cold DMs manually every day, opposed to the guy who's in a car who spends around 4 hours a day creating a high quality YouTube video that gets 1,000 views. Okay, and so who has more leverage? The guy who's on foot sending 1,000 cold DMs every day, or the guy who's in a car that creates one YouTube video a day that gets 1,000 views? The person who's in the car, not only because it's taking him less time to do it, but also because the YouTube video is an asset that's going to sell for him for the rest of time. It's always going to be popping up on people's feeds. It's always going to be on your channel, getting more views over time. Okay, and that's leverage. And so simply, and also simply pushes the gas pedal with foot to cover more distance. He's in a better vehicle, meaning that he doesn't have to exert energy to put one foot in front of the other to cover a low amount of distance. He just simply pushes his foot on the gas pedal and he reaches more distance quickly, reaches the finish line 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times faster. Leverage equals save time. Okay, so start looking at how to implement one of these four, at a minimum, one of these four forms of leverage into your business. Whether it's automating something with software, whether it's getting capital so you can acquire talent, or acquiring talent so you can get capital, whatever circumstance you're in, and creating content that sells for you for the rest of time. And so if you want to learn how to capitalize on this opportunity before it's too late, first link in the description is a completely free AI scaling specialist school community. We have hundreds of AI founders in there who are all looking on how to capitalize on this small window that we have in this nick of time. And we have tons of insights in there. You have direct access to me in there. And if you're somebody who wants to capitalize on this opportunity, go ahead and click that first link in the description and I'll see you on the inside.